So hello everyone, and we are from group 6, and we're gonna present to you guys about the setting, point of view, and theme of the doll's house. Next slide, please. So here are the group members. Our group consists of Syifa Amalia, Ghina Salsabila, me myself, Muhammad Gusandi Rahman, Naura Rania, Vista Rika Irianna, Michael Dwight, Lisa Putri Fransisca, Aisyah Rahmah Maulida, and last but not least, Roger Dacosta. Next slide, please. Now we're going to explain about the setting first. Now, this setting plays a symbolic meaning, shaping an atmosphere of despair and family tragedy. The house symbolizes happy family life and close relations between the spouses. Using the setting of the dollhouse, Ibsen underlines that Nora's freedom is limited by this setting and the surrounding. Next slide.
Okay, so the setting of place. Okay, so the setting of place of the doll house, most of them are set in a room, which showing the unique settings and furniture, which enables to produce an atmosphere of happiness and wealth. It also represents life hopes and aspiration, builds positive atmosphere and family-friendly relationship. And also, Ibsen emphasized that Nora is dissatisfied and depressed, despite the fact that the social function of his wife is established, is already accomplished. This plays symbolic significance aids reader in quickly understanding how it creates a play's mood. The environment also bonds both the natural world beyond the narrator's window and her own inner nature, while the Torfield study is another unusual location, which is believed that Ibsen specifies the door opens into this room, which represents the male world and financial dominance over women. Next material will be explained by my friends.
So now I will explain about the time setting. The setting of Christmas time supports an atmosphere of mystery and life hopes. Torvald asks Nora, "Do you remember last Christmas? For a full 3 weeks beforehand, you shut yourself up every evening, making ornaments for the Christmas tree." Ibsen. On the other hand, this remark depicts that the family has some financial problems and Nora has no money of her own depending upon her husband. This is the main reason why Ibsen discusses an important issue concerning the low status of women in the society and the moral issues connected with it. Christmas time symbolizes love and family relations as a vain sacrifice that is painful and sorrowful, lasting for decades and causing terrible sufferings and emotional burden. The next slide will be presented by my friend.
Okay, so here the point of view. Next. Okay, the point of view. Ibsen employs an objective person point of view in telling a doll's house, meaning that the point of view doesn't belong to one of the character in the play. Instead, the audience represents the objective outside point of view that must come to their own conclusion on the morality of the characters. So the play as a whole is told from a third person point of view. Nora, as the protagonist, shares the most with the audience, and her work creates the setting for the play. Furthermore, the instances of the dramatic irony, such as When Torvald tells Nora that he feels physically ill around dishonest people, centered around what characters do not want about Nora. This creates the sense of audience members need mostly concern themselves with Nora's transformation and what will happen once other characters learn the truth about her. Next.
So next is the theme. Next. So the first theme is the sacrificial role of women. In a doll's house, Ibsen paints a bleak picture of the sacrificial role held by women of all economic classes in his society. In general, the play's female character exemplify Nora's assertion, spoken to Torvald in Act 3, that even though men refuse to sacrifice their integrity, hundreds of thousands of women have. Next.
So the next theme, which highlighted throughout the stories, is parental and filial obligations. So Nora, Torvald, and also Dr. Rang, which expresses the beliefs that a parent is obligated to be honest and upstanding, because a parent's immorality is passed on to his or her children's like a disease. Next, please.
The next, for the course of a doll's house, appearance proved to be misleading veneers that mask the reality of the play's character and situation. Our first impression of Nora, Torvald, and Krogstad are all eventually undercut. Nora initially seems a silly, childish woman, but as the play progresses, we see that she is intelligent, motivated, and by the play's conclusion is strong-willed and independent thinker.
The fourth theme is the constructive nature of gender roles. In a dollhouse, Ibsen portrays a stereotypically gender household with Torvald and Nora Helmer, and then shows how characters, both male and female, suffer because of the role society expects them to play. The constructive nature of gender roles is especially apparent for the main female characters in the play, which is Nora and Mrs. Linde. Women at this time were expected to get married, have children, and stay at home to tend to their children and husband. And when a woman actually had a job and earned money, like Nora copying line in The Secret, it was like being a man. And women had very few opportunity to make money for themselves and had to rely on husband or fathers to provide their needs.
So the five decide toward a doll's house deceptions are present as makes the liar must wear in order to conceal the truth. When Joffel describes why Krogstad has a bad reputation, he explains that Krogstad did not take his punishment head-on but got out of the conundrum by a cunning trick. And now, because of his lies, he must wear a mask in the presence of those near and dear to him, even before his own wife and children. That ever-present mask is even more clearly worn by Nora. In front of Torvald, she wears the mask of a little girl or innocent woodland creature, willing to play along with his dehumanizing nicknames of Squirrel and Skylark in order to get the things she wants. Next.
The next theme is reputation. For both Nora and Dr. Rang, their reputation hinged on the reputation of their parents. According to Torvald, a person's reputation should be inherited through the mother. Yet, throughout the play, the opposite is shown to be the case. Just as a child in the society receives their father's last name as their own, They also seem to inherit their father's reputation, especially when it's come to negative traits. If their father had a bad reputation, it comes back to haunt them, regardless of any goodwill they may build up on their own. Next.
Okay, so the last theme of this drama is marriage. Noura and Torvald represent a completely conventional marriage at the beginning of the play because she stays at home and tends to their house and children, and Torvald supports the family financially. In order to keep their conventional marriage afloat, Noura lies to Torvald at every turn. She's not only dishonest about silly things like eating macaroons, but about enormous things as well, like the fact that she secured the loan that saved Torvald's life. And when these lies come to light, Torvald completely breaks down and drives Noura away. Torvald, as a conventional husband, feels that he has the right to control his wife, and he is astonished when Noura says that it's nice of her to do what he wants. This perceived right to control is another reason their marriage falls apart. Torvald must control every aspect of his household, even the keys to the letterbox, but he fails to realize that his control comes at a price. As long as he exerts control over Noura, they can never be equals and thus cannot be in true union or partnership. And those are our presentation for this drama, and thank you for listening, and bye-bye.